The current time is 8:42 p.m. on Sunday, March 3rd. Make note of that because we're about to start an experiment. One of the most important features on a fountain pen is how well the nib seals. Now, most pens have a cap with a slip cap, a screw cap, whatever it works. Put it on there. You have to ensure the nib is sealed nicely so it doesn't dry out. But there's some pens that have no caps at all. And here is a collection of them. And what we're going to do is going to have them all inked up. We're going to do a writing sample. We're going to start right now. And then I'm going to come back a month later to see have any of them dried out. Out of all the pens that are retractable nibs, so there's no cap, the nib just kind of retracts back into the body, which one does the best job of sealing? So the first one we have here, this is a Lamy Dialogue 3, super cool pen. Next up is this brand new one. It's the Ensso bolt. I'm fortunate enough to have one of the early models before it officially launches. So a little bolt action here. There's a cool seal on the end. That's how it seals the nib. It's a little X-cut on like a little silicone gasket. Then we have this Mahjong A2. And this is pretty close to a replica of the vintage. This is a proper vintage Pilot Vanishing Point from the 70s. So we're going to compare those two. And then we have the Mahjong A1. I like this. Is my favorite Mahjong A1. Has that fish scale. I think this looks really nice. That pen came out because it looks just like this. This is a proper Pilot Vanishing Point. So we got the real pilots, the knockoff ones, the tribute pens, whatever you want to call them. Ensso Bolt, Lamy Dialogue 3. Let's do this. All of these pens were just cleaned out and then inked up, each with the exact same ink, Diamine Sapphire Blue. I'm going to do a writing sample right now with all the pens. Then we're going to wait 1 month. After a month, I'm going to come back to the same page and see if these pens fire up right away. I'm going to have them in a little box so they're all in the same spot. Nothing's going to be touched or disturbed. And we'll find out, will they fire up right away? I guess to eliminate pens, we'll see if you extend the nib and does it write instantly? First track, or does it miss a bit? Does it skip a little bit? Does it get kind of dry and then start flowing properly? So let's just start this. Now, if they all pass the first month, I'm going to have to do it for 2 months. I'm going to have to restart the whole thing. And so this test could take quite a while. I don't know if it's going to take 2 months, 3 months, 4 months for me to complete this video. So we might as well go right now. We'll keep it pretty simple. After the month is up, I'll come back with the same pen and write the same thing, and we'll compare to see how well it does. I figured I'll store them in my nice little Esterbrook pen roll just to keep all the pens safe and protected so nothing gets scratched. These are absolutely great. I love these things. There we go. I'll wrap this up, and we're just going to let these pens hang out, do their own thing, and we are going to come back in 1 month. And now for part 2, the conclusion of our pen test. It is Thursday, April 4th. Spring has arrived, and here are the pens. And what we got to do now is just see which ones will write right away, and will any of them skip. I have the same book as before, but of course I've played around since then. I was testing my Mag 600 flex nib on this page opposite of the writing sample, and I closed the book. And I got some, of course, because these are fountain pens. It's staying the opposite page because I didn't wait long enough for the ink to dry. Nonetheless, let's proceed. Let's get started, but I figured first, I got to make a prediction. This is a test. As part of science, you have to make a prediction. So I'm going to predict which ones will work right away, which ones won't. I don't think the Lamy Dialogue 3 will. I think it'll skip at first, and then maybe a stroke or two, it'll fire up. Ensso Bolt, I'm pretty confident. That little wiper, it just, wipes that nib, primes it up. The A2, I don't think this one's going to write. This one's been problematic. It dries out quick. A1, I think will be fine. Vintage Pilot, I think will be fine. And the modern Pilot Vanishing Point, I think will be fine as well. That's my prediction. I could be totally wrong. Bonus points to anyone watching the video spots in the background a pen that I have not yet reviewed that is new to my hands. Here we go, Lamy Dialogue 3. It's been 1 month. There, figured I had to get you a little closer. Moment of truth that the focus cooperates. There we go. Yep, we're just a little bit, but a few strokes. We're slowly coming back. Let's see if I can get to the end of the sentence and it's flowing. That was essentially what I predicted, so I know this pen well. Missed the first little bit, but after going a couple strokes, we're up no problem, and it's back to being properly wet. Looks like the color has changed. That's interesting. Next up, we have the Ensso bolts. Let's get you up close. Ah, yeah. No problems whatsoever. Just perfectly wet out of the gate. I figured it would. All right. That's a pass. You know what I'm thinking as I'm writing? The ink hasn't fully dried, and some blues I find, lighter blues, tend to fade a little bit over time. So, you know, I could see that happening. All right, on to the Mahjong A2. Oh, wait, this is the A1. Almost screwed up the test. There we go. It was off just a little bit. It still seems to be writing a little thin. Yeah, now it's catching up. So far, I mean, this is pretty decent. A capless pen lasting 1 month. That's not too bad at all. The M was just a little bit thin, a touch on the A, and then things, almost by the end of the A, really everything was up and running again, similar to the Dialogue 3. Now it's time for the A1. I think this will be no problem. Oh. Not as, oh, that's actually the worst so far. Okay. I've used this as a daily carry for a long time, and maybe it was just the ink I had in it was really, really good. But so far, yeah, it's maybe just caught up by the end here. I think I still need to write a little bit more to have perfect flow. Now it is time for what do we got? The vintage Pilot Vanishing Point. This is my favorite of them all. Yep, and that is perfectly wet, exactly where it should be. Very first click. That's writing wonderfully. Okay, only one left, and that is the modern Vanishing Point. So it missed a little bit just out of the gate. It took a few characters. So really the first word, maybe the end of the first word, it was okay. And then it was running properly. So there we have it, folks. Those are the results. I'd like to hear from you what you thought of those. Is that useful? If you've been hesitant about getting a capless style pen, is this something you'd want to know? Should we test it longer? That's another thing we could do. It is sort of ironic. The most expensive pen out here, the Lamy Dialogue 3, the very engineered, German engineered Lamy Dialogue 3, you know, didn't shine as well as some of the other lower cost options. It does look super cool. I'm curious if you have a Lamy CC, the updated version, if that has improved. It did okay. It wrote, you know, after a couple of characters and there was no issues. This one was the worst. Or actually, was it? No, sorry, the A1. The A1 was the worst. This one wasn't right away. You know, which was the best? Actually, you might want to know that. It would be down between, because all the other ones here, let's do a summary. These all had issues. These two worked instantly. So maybe these are going to be in the next competition. I got to do a follow-up video. I was thinking, do I call it quits here 1 month? Is that good enough? We have to declare a champion. Do you want to see a champion? Let me know down there in the comments, and I'll make the video. Should we go 2 months? Should we go 3 months? Should we just continue until it fails? Maybe this, I don't know how long this will take to do. I think I'm going to do it anyways. I want to know. So if you want to not miss out on that video, I can, you know, highly recommend you hit the subscribe button. If you're clicking, click the thumbs up, leave a comment. I guess we're going to be at this again. The pen in question was this one here. In case you didn't know, this was the Pelican M1000. I picked up an older model, so it's got the semi-translucent barrel. This thing is nice. Other cool features and stuff. Yeah, I've been waiting to get one of these ever since I got in the hobby. So keep your eyes peeled for a review on that one coming very soon. Until then, we will catch you next time.